What's going on, everybody? Critic in
What
the Common Man
Mandalorians have you been looking at that they have masks like this?
Critic in the Mandalorian here with yet another short series review of The Mandalorian Chapter 13, The Jedi. Dude, I'm so excited to talk to you about this one. With always, this is your full spoiler warning. If you have not seen The Mandalorian Chapter 13, The Jedi, please click off of this. Go watch it now.
He's back.
That will be your last. That will be your last warning.
Back.
Dude, I'm telling you, something about getting old. My shoulders don't do that anymore the way they used to. This used to be so much easier.
Yeah, I can barely rotate my freaking. This used to be so I used to be able to
I know, it used to be no problem, man. Wow, a lot to talk about with this one, and I couldn't even help it. It was basically halfway through, I was already texting you about this to ask if you'd seen it or not.
Yeah.
Huge development right out of the gate. I'll go ahead and say that this, to me, was my favorite episode of The Mandalorian yet.
Oh, yeah. For so many reasons.
For so many reasons, agreed. Dude, and it's funny because I rewatched our review of Chapter 12, The Siege, the previous episode, and my guesses for what they were going to do with Ahsoka were completely wrong.
Yep, both of us.
They were completely wrong. I assumed I really thought we weren't going to see her until the season finale. Mm-hmm. That's what my immediate thought was, we're not going to see. Yeah, I think so. I think they set up for that on purpose.
Yeah.
My immediate thought was we're not going to see her until the season finale, and then maybe she's going to come in and be more integral to this show in season 3. Mm-hmm. I was totally wrong. She comes in the next episode, which we thought, I guess we said could happen, but I wasn't expecting her to be in and out of the show in one episode like that, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the wonderful thing about Star Wars is that all she has to do is hop in a ship, hit hyperspace, and then she'll be wherever
she's
she
there
needs
again.
To. Yeah.
I have so many questions, and I have a couple things that bothered me about this episode. One in particular that my wife had kind of didn't seem to bother her as much, but I wanted to bring it up to you as well. We'll get there as we go throughout this. We can officially say that we were Mandalorian fans before Baby Yoda had a name.
Yeah.
And now he shall officially be known as Grogu. How do you feel about them giving him a name?
It's a little weird. It doesn't fit him, in my opinion, but that's maybe because I'm so used to seeing him as, the child or whatever.
I don't like the name.
We'll get used to it. I mean, there's nothing, I can't be like, hey, Danny, I hate your name, which I do, but I can't tell you that, so.
Well, you've told me many times, but you just have to get used to it. The thing is, Din Djarin's still just going to call him kid. You know what I mean? It's not like I doubt, we were wrong in the last one. I doubt he's going to start calling him Grogu in every single episode. Yeah. I don't like that they gave him a name. I don't like that they gave him a name. And I don't like the name Grogu. I don't either. It's not like a cute Baby Yoda name.
I don't know. What was the name of there's a female version of their species.
Whoa.
That was seen in The Phantom Menace. It's in one of the council scenes. When you see the master sitting around, there's a female Yoda, whatever his race is, that's sitting there.
Yodette,
yeah. I think her name is Yadi.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that was her name.
That.
So
I could see that thing getting up and doing like a rap. You know what I mean? Yadi.
Some people are saying that Grogu is their kid. Yoda and Yadi.
That would be so weird if they end up making it his Yoda's kid. Let's circle back to the beginning of this episode, dude. There's so much to talk about with this one. I feel like most people will probably agree that this was one of the more exciting episods ever of The Mandalorian. Ahsoka, right from the beginning.
Right off the bat.
Did you like her? Yeah. Did you hate her? What did you think?
Oh, okay. So I love Ahsoka in the series and the animated series. Right. I think she's a really well-rounded character. I think she's awesome. A lot of people who hated her, they gave her flack for being this they're like, oh, Anakin never had a Padawan in the movies. What the hell? And then they introduced her, but over time, her character grew on people and she became a fan favorite.
Right.
I personally really like her character, and so it was really hard for me to not only see her as this, this personified version, because I've seen her as an adult in the animated series as well, and it's a pretty good likeness. It's not, you can tell who it is. Little things here and there with some of the makeup that just kind of bother me, but overall, it's a pretty good rendition of her, and I can't hate. It's a TV show. I'm all in. I'm all for it, and I loved the way they introduced her. Where, dude, that opening shot where you're just pulling up over the wall and you just see all of the dead trees and the distance, the smoke.
Blaster fire kind of going.
It just looked so cool, and then just
sets the tone up so well. I think we were all pretty much holding our breath. Yeah. When you see her lightsabers, extend and light up, you're going, holy shit, they're actually doing this.
And she's in the same stance. Like, she's literally, like, fighting the same way the animated version does, and it's so cool. With,
I love that. I love that they did that.
One lightsaber is smaller than the other.
I saw I didn't notice that. Yeah. I saw one hangs a little bit lower than the other. It's normal for most Jedi.
Yeah.
I did notice...
Millions of Americans are affected every year.
Yeah. Oh my god! I did notice that I saw an article that her whatever they're called, like her head things, that like
I don't know. Yeah,
whatever they are, were shorter in like the live action Mandalorian than they were in her character on the Clone Wars.
And you could see like where they bend. You could see like the rubber.
I kind of know they did look a little bit fake.
Yeah, and it's weird because I've seen cosplays that have done it better. So it's like,
well, that's the thing, because we've seen this race before, or at least a similar race than this before in Star Wars before, and I do feel like the headdresses were a little more realistic looking,
100%.
But they also weren't jumping around fighting and flipping around.
Like in Revenge of the Sith, Ayla Secura, the green one that gets shot the fuck up at the end.
That's right.
She looked fantastic. She looked great.
On that mushroom planet.
Yeah,
she gets lit up. But you're right, she looked a little more realistic, I would say. But I mean... Hey, it is what it is. Again, the action was not quite as... They weren't doing as much in the Star Wars trilogy, but it was really nice to see some well-choreographed lightsaber fighting, yes.
Yeah.
And she's, like, and they're not afraid to make her badass. Like, she's killing people through a tree and then shooting this tree stump at somebody. I mean, it was fucking awesome.
Tossing one of them at the other one while she stabs one.
Yes.
It was so cool.
And it's what Star Wars needs badly. I really feel that way. We've said it in the previous episode. We've said it in our original episode 1 of Critic and the Common Man. The Jedi and the Sith, the lightsaber, it feels so underutilized.
Yeah.
You have this awesome, class of people or, race or whatever, and you don't see that much good action content of them fighting. It's mostly blaster content when it comes to Star Wars.
What's funny, too, is that she's not technically a Jedi. She never completed her training. She walked out on the Jedi Temple. She was pissed off at them and left. And
all right, I'm sorry to slow this down for the people that are watching this and know a lot more of the lore than I do. So you were telling me that her lightsabers are white for a reason.
Yeah, it has something to do with, like, because she got her lightsabers from an Inquisitor. One of the Inquisitors followed her to a planet she was hiding on. This is like 2 or 3 years after the fall of the Jedi. She's still maybe 18, 19 years old. She's young. Probably 10 years before this starts, this series takes place. But she ran away kind of trying to hide, just finding jobs here and there, trying to figure out what to do next. Pretty much thinking that she was the last of her kind. And she got followed by an Inquisitor because she ended up helping somebody and showed her powers, and they got word out. So they found her, and she had to take on one of the Inquisitors, save one of her friends. And in the process, she literally used the Force to break the lightsaber that the guy was using. And it shattered, and she was able to kill him. And through the debris of the lightsaber, she found the 2 crystals, and she repurposed them. She purified them, and it's what turned them white.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because they were red from the corruption of the Force, and she purified them, and in the process she made her own lightsabers. And it's cool because she's almost like a samurai. Like, she fights with like one regular lightsaber and one smaller one that she holds upside down.
Nice.
So
she, at this point, Darth Vader has basically just become Darth Vader. He's not that far into being Vader, right?
At this point, he is dead.
I thought this took place right after episode 3.
No, it takes place right after the original movies end. So this is like Luke is an adult just starting the Jedi Temple.
Gotcha.
And it's kind of between the First Order and the original movies.
Okay.
It's like that span between there. As far as I know.
Get that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because Ahsoka would be super young if that was the case, and she's not.
Okay, fair enough.
Because she was like, I think she was like 16 when the Jedi were killed.
Okay, yeah, see, because I never watched the Clone Wars, so I'm not I don't like know her story all that well. I just kind of know who she is just from seeing Star Wars content online and stuff and watching YouTube videos and everything. How did you feel her character portrayed Ahsoka, like actual character-wise?
The character itself, I think, was done very well. Ahsoka as a kid was like very tenacious and ambitious and arrogant. But as she got older and like shit just kind of started to hit the fan with the Jedi and stuff, and she ultimately felt betrayed by them and left the Jedi Order, she became very like withdrawn. And I think that's what we see here, is that we see a very quiet, wise, almost Jedi, what you might consider the gray Jedi. And it's really cool. I think they did a good job with her.
And she's even saying, when that magistrate was like, how many lives is this information worth? She's like, the lives of these people mean nothing to me. Like, she's definitely not like your classic hero for sure.
No.
I liked the chemistry between her and Din Djarin a lot. So much so that I was really upset at the end when they kind of split ways, because I was excited to see more of them fighting.
Yeah. Now but she sent him to another Jedi, right?
So, okay, this is the part that I didn't like about this episode, and you tell me what you think. And if you guys are listening or watching on YouTube, drop a comment down below and let us know what you think about this too. So, Ahsoka is not willing to train Grogu because she's scared. She knows how important his bond with Din Djarin is, and she's scared if she pulls him away from Din, that somehow he will follow Anakin's path and become a Sith.
Yeah,
But then at the end, this is what I didn't get. That part I'm okay with. But then at the end, she says, "I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to train him. Take him to like this Jedi temple on Coruscant or wherever. I don't remember actually where she said, but take him to these Jedi ruins and have him sit on the Seeing Stone on top of the mountain and reach out, and a Jedi will come and find him." Well, it's like, well, wait a second. If you're just going to send him to find another Jedi, why doesn't she just do it?
I think part of it has to do with her character. She never completed her training as a Jedi, and every time she has, like, at this point, she has already fought Darth Vader face to face, and failed. She wasn't able to take him out. She actually almost died. And so pretty much every time she's ever tried to be the Jedi she needs to be, she's failed. She's gotten people killed. Like, it's a mental thing, I think, for her, where she feels like she's not able to live up to what the Jedi were. And then at the same time, she doesn't want to, because she doesn't see them as being this perfect force that everybody else saw. She saw them as flawed, and she saw their flaws and decided to leave because of that, but then is also being expected, because she wields a lightsaber and she has the Force, to be this like symbol for them, and she doesn't feel that. I think that's what it is. I think she is so lost in what she needs to do that she's not willing to put herself out there and say, hey, I can train you.
Okay, so she's just not ready to take that on, like not ready to take on that responsibility, and she doesn't necessarily she doesn't feel like she's necessarily qualified to do it. Maybe is kind of what I'm getting.
Because she was never like, she's still technically a Padawan. She never completed her training. She walked out.
That makes sense, because that kind of frustrated me. It was like he's being told to bring Grogu to her, which she didn't sign up for that, but fine. So he brings him to her, and then she's like, he needs to be trained, but you have to do it, or another Jedi will do it. But she's willing to send him off to go find another Jedi, but not just do it herself, which kind of bothered me. But I mean, that makes sense if she's just not ready to take that on, I suppose.
Now, because you brought it up, the idea of another Jedi reaching out to him, oh man, because the thing is, it could be a living Jedi that comes and finds them, or it could be one that finds them through the Force.
Right.
So you could have
be like the Force ghost of somebody,
Luke or Qui-Gon. There's so many Kanan who technically. Kanan Jarrus or Ezra, either of them could reach out, and Ahsoka has met both of them. They are both alive. Well, Kanan isn't alive, but Ezra, as far as we know, is alive somewhere in the galaxy. We just don't know where. He just vanished.
Okay.
Cal Kestis is alive at this point from the Fallen Order games.
Yes, that's right.
There's so many Jedi on top of others. Some people are saying Mace Windu, because we never technically saw Mace Windu die. He just...
I saw that too online. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to see Samuel L. Jackson come back in and
older,
have Mace Windu in the series, but it does kind of get a big loophole where but then again, it's the same thing as Palpatine, right? We saw Palpatine fall down a giant pit, and yet he's back.
Yeah.
Or he was back.
Basically, if you fall down a pit in Star Wars, you live. I mean...
yeah, you're
Darth Maul fell down a pit.
Yeah.
Luke fell down a pit. Everybody.
Yep. Everybody fell down a pit. So that is the big question. Drop a comment down below. Who do you guys think is going to be the Jedi? I mean, we're assuming that a Jedi is going to come in. They kind of force the story that way.
I don't know if you saw the little creature when they're like going through the streets and there's like this cat thing at the front that just kind of like and like ran off. And rewatch it if you can.
Okay.
It's at the very beginning. It's a Loth cat, and the Loth cats are from the planet that Ezra Miller is from. And so it's another kind of nod to him.
Oh, so it's like a little Easter egg.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw that and I was like, that's weird, but it kind of makes me feel like Kanan is going to come to Grogu in his, because Kanan died, but he took the form of a giant wolf when he died. A Loth wolf, and it's this massive white wolf with like these red eyes and this like paint on the front. Really cool looking thing. I have a feeling that we might be seeing the wolf at the end of the season. I think that he's the one that's going to reach out to them.
So we had said that potentially Ahsoka was going to be the big season finale reveal, seeing her. That's clearly not happening because we just got a whole episode of her. So now I guess the next obvious guess is that the big season finale is going to be getting Grogu to the Seeing Stone to reach out through the Force and see maybe which Jedi is coming to find him.
Right.
And also potentially which Sith feels him reach out through the Force and comes for him also. But they also hinted, let's bring in the next character in this. They also hinted, not even hinted, they blatantly came out and said that they're now looking for Thrawn, who I know a little bit about.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I freaked out. Dude.
Yeah, what is it? Grand Admiral Thrawn or whatever it is. And he is, from my understanding, a big-time villain in this also.
Genius. He's just a master strategist, always one step ahead. He vanished with Ezra.
Oh my dude! See, it's all coming together, man. They really know what they're doing.
Ezra had to take him on, and it was kind of his like, I am officially a Jedi moment when like his master Kanan died, and Kanan basically entrusted him to kind of see their mission through. He called forth these like giant space whales that came to their aid and attacked the Star Destroyer that him and Thrawn were on, and they literally just kind of like went into hyperspace with this Star Destroyer, leaving everybody else behind. So Thrawn and him were the only ones left on this ship, and it got taken into hyperspace. That was the end of the series. Nobody knows what happened to them. Thrawn and Ezra disappeared with the space whales. That's it.
Okay, so they're definitely leading up to that being the potential two characters that we could see come into this show at the end.
It's been like 10 years, 20 years since that. So Ezra is like a full-grown adult at this point. He's not a kid anymore.
Okay.
He is roughly the same age as Ahsoka, just a few years younger.
Okay.
So like we're looking at like a 25-year-old Ezra.
This is gonna be crazy, man. It's I mean, they have tons and tons of content leading on. So I got another question for you too, because I don't know if you remember, but you actually mentioned this in the last Mandalorian review that we did for the last chapter. You'd said that potentially we were only going to see Ahsoka temporarily and that she could be getting her own spin-off. You may be completely right with that. That prediction may still be right. Do you think now that we've seen her for one episode and she's dipped, she's at least for the moment gone, is this going to be the last we really see of her in The Mandalorian? And is she going to get her own spin-off, or do you think she's going to come back in The Mandalorian?
Well, I think that the way the directors are going to see it is that this is not a show about Ahsoka. This is a show about Din Djarin and the child. I don't think we're going to see Ahsoka as often as we'd like, but I think that she's going to be a reoccurring character in the same way that like Nick Cage pops up in not Nicolas Cage, but like Daredevil will show up in like Jessica Jones and stuff like that. Like they're interconnected stories that kind of appear in each other's shows. I think that's what we're going to end up getting into.
And you're probably right, because to be honest, Din Djarin and Ahsoka together is like kind of a cheat code. You know what I mean? It's like when they're fighting people, who's beating them?
I mean, a Mandalorian and a Jedi,
I mean, it's pretty insane. Also, it was pretty awesome to see the duel between Ahsoka and the magistrate lady with the spear.
The
Beskar spear.
Her father, so in real life, that actress's father was
Isn't it Bruce Lee?
Was Bruce Lee's sparring partner
Oh my god.
So she grew up probably steeped in martial arts, which is why she did so badass in this. Also, can we talk about the fact that lightsabers don't cut through Beskar?
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I'm saying. It's insane how he was like blocking her lightsabers and stuff. It makes sense. I mean, if the Mandalorian or the Mandalore and the Jedi go back as being enemies, it would make sense that the Mandalorian had some sort of weapon or armor or something that could compete or at least hold its own with a lightsaber.
So it's just, there's so much that we just saw in this episode. Very little that I didn't like. Most of it was aesthetic things, but the shots were fantastic. I think the shots made it feel so much more like a show. Like I kept saying that it felt a little cheap, the show up to this point. This episode, dude, from the very beginning felt like a movie. Everything was
this one felt the most movie-esque. Absolutely.
Top-notch directing, top-notch cinematography. The acting was great. The choreography was pretty much all there. There were a few moments where I was like, okay, like you clearly held back there, but whatever. You have to suspend your disbelief at a certain point, like like the seeing the things on her hair or whatever that is, whatever. I was still like, my mind was still blown seeing her and seeing the lightsabers and the color palette of this episode. Everything was good. I'm so excited.
They didn't shy away from it. That's what I was so happy about, because I was thinking, okay, we're gonna see Ahsoka, but it's gonna be like we were talking about it, like she might not even have lightsabers or something. Dude, they were like, fuck that. She from the first thing you see of her, she, you see the lightsabers come out and she's already slicing through people 3 minutes into the episode. I mean, it was this to me, and I let us know if you agree down below. This was the best episode of The Mandalorian yet.
Yes.
The only thing I didn't love about this one was the ending. Just a personal thing. I didn't want Ahsoka to be out already. I would have liked to have seen her.
Because we're so pumped. But it makes you wonder what the series is setting us up for at the end of this if Ahsoka's not the reveal.
Right. If they're going to take a big character like that and only make her in one episode, what's going to happen?
Also, with Obi-Wan getting a spin-off series, I wonder if Ian McGregor might be the one to reach out through his ghost, because at this point, Obi-Wan's dead. So...
yeah, you don't... it could go anywhere. They have so many options with this. I was talking to another buddy of mine, and I was just saying, what do you think the next canon movie Star Wars franchise is going to be? And he was saying potentially Knights of the Old Republic. Which would be pretty freaking awesome. So, I mean, dude, they have so much to pull from.
Yeah.
So much to pull from. So we'll see. But, I mean, in my opinion, best episode of The Mandalorian yet. I cannot wait. Tons of lore steeped in this one. A lot of Easter eggs. So much potential for where this is going to go. I don't know. I say look out for Moff Gideon in the next one. I think he's going to be back. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just excited, man. This one got me like really rehyped for this show again. It was just it was invigorating. You got anything else for Chapter 13, The Jedi?
No, can't wait to see where this goes, honestly.
It's fucking awesome, man. That's it. Critic in the comment, man. Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian, The Jedi, our favorite one yet. Leave a comment down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know what you think. And keep an eye out for our Chapter 14 review next week. Chris, this is the way.
This is the way.
We're out of here. So long, everybody.